Hi, this is Juliet from SENAME and in this video I'm going to show you how you can create your own Linktree. Now if you're not familiar with what Linktree is, it is a software as a service where you are able to create multiple links, basically a tree link, so that you can put it in your social media. Now most social media platforms only allow you one link, so it's been hard over the years to navigate people to the different places on your website and into your marketing funnel. And Linktree came up with this idea, and I thought it was great. Now I have something similar in my on my social media, but I chose to actually have image representations instead of just links. But I have had some questions about how to create these link trees on your own. So I thought I'd give it a try. This is the first time I'm going to attempt it. So before we get started, let's take a look at what Linktree is and how they've been using it. All right, so let's head over. So this is their page, and it's very easy. Use it anywhere, link to anywhere. And they have, I guess, a demo of Alicia Keys. So let's take a look at that. And it's that simple. Now, if you know anything about me, if I can keep it in-house and if I can do it myself, then I absolutely will. So I think this is ingenious and I think it's great. It solved a need. And so they obviously created the 4-minute mile in a sense. So now I'm like, well, no, I think I can absolutely do this. Price-wise, it is not horrible. It's $6 USD a month, and for the pro version. For the free versions, of course, there's some limitations, but you can take the time to read through all of this, and it also gives you analytics. Now, I think the analytics can be covered with your Google Analytics or any other analytics tools that you have on your website. So that will not be a deal breaker for me, or it shouldn't be for you either. Now let's take a look at Linktree itself, how Linktree is using Linktree on their social media, right? So basically it's just, a little icon, or I guess your profile, whatever it is you want to say at the bottom, and then a whole bunch of links with social media, and they have an image background, right? So let's see if we can duplicate this. Now, for the purpose of this training, I have a fresh install of WordPress. I'm going to be using WordPress as well as Elementor. So I have a fresh install of WordPress, and I'm using the Astra theme at this point. And let's see. I'm also just using the Elementor basic version, so not the pro version. So let's take a look at what we can possibly do with the Elementor basic version. Now I use the Elementor pro version, so I am a little spoiled. So let's see what we can do with the Elementor basic version. All right, so let's go ahead and create a page. Now for me, like I mentioned, I do have a dedicated web page that is only used on my social media. So anytime I see traffic coming from there, I know that it's a social media traffic. So I use this for every social media platform that I am on, because I wanted to make sure that I'm able to navigate people to where I want them to go based on what they do. But I'm curious, how I can just do this basic link tree. So let's get started. So I'm going to create a new page. Now you can call it whatever you want. Links, link tree, I am whoever, or your basic, whatever link you want to call it. So I think I've been using brand with SENAME, so I think I'm going to stick with that. So I don't have the Elementor page builder enabled yet, so I'm going to have to quickly do that. Let's save this as draft. Head over to plugins and activate my 2 plugins. So you probably don't need Forminator, but I had an idea and I'm not sure if it will work. And I know that Forms is not in the Elementor basic plan. So I downloaded Forminator, which is, I guess, a form plugin so that I could use it with Elementor. So let's go back to our page and edit with Elementor. Right. So anytime I'm replicating a design, if you've seen my previous video where I was replicating a lead pages page, I start with just the layout first, and then I worry about tweaking things to make it look my own. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing here as well. So to start, I want to absolutely clean canvas. So to do that, we're going to go over to settings. We're going to change this to Elementor Canvas, and that should clean up everything for us. Awesome. So to start, it looks like it's just, let's just close out these distractions. It looks like it is just, we can just use one section and build within that. So let's do that. We will do one section. First, I'm going to put in an image. Of course, the image is going to be huge. So let's make some changes. I've for the purpose of this tutorial, I uploaded some images already that I knew that I was going to use. So I'm going to start with this one first. All right, so we have a square image. Let's turn it into circle. So I am going to need a radius of something ridiculously high across the board. And there we go. All right, so I've gotten my circle. I need to make it smaller. Now, obviously, this is not the perfect picture to use because I still have this text here. So I'll just leave that alone for now. If you're doing your own, you would use a picture that is more appropriate. Now, I want to make this image smaller. Let's see. I think that's good. So I obviously need a different picture. Let's just switch out the picture. Let's try this one. That works perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I'll keep that. Next, we have text. So let's go put in some text. I think I will use header text instead. And that is massive. So let's go with something smaller, centered. And we are going to, I'm going to make it black. Well, the one thing about this new color palette is that the black is not functional unless you click outside of it. So yes, I think I prefer the softer black. And I think that's still too big. So let's make it, what are we looking at here? All right, we'll have to style it even more. 18, perfect. So I'll change the text here. Now you can put whatever you want. You can just make it at your social media handle. All right, so we can keep it at that. Next, we have these buttons. Okay, so let's go put in some buttons. Uh-oh. Let's try that again. There we go. Now, if I center it, if I justify it, it's going to go full width, but I don't want it to be that big. So what do we need to do? I am going to use this in here instead and get rid of one of the, get rid of that, move that in here. So in order to make this smaller, I need to click into the box, and there we go. So I think I'm going to make it 720. So it should be full width on mobile at 720. But then I want a little bit of space. So I think this is good. All right. So of course we're going to customize the back. Let's see. So of course we're going to customize the color here. I am going to make it background color. It's going to be completely black. And we can type in whatever we want over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Awesome. So since we've created this, we like it, we can obviously, we're going to have to put a link in there specifically to a lead magnet or whatever it is that you're offering for free. And let us duplicate a few of these. Perfect. So then we would just go in there and make the changes to each of them. Now they have a background, and I don't necessarily think you need a background, but let's give it a bit of character. So let's maybe put a background color instead of the background image, and I'll probably do both. So let's take a look at background color. So let's look at this blue. Yeah, it's doable. Let's also try rose. Right, so we can definitely make it whatever colors that we want. And let's take a look at on mobile. There we go. Now the image is really small on mobile. So let's change that size. All right, so it looks like this is as far as it will go. And max width, we can make it bigger or smaller. So let's keep it on mobile. Yeah, this is good enough. I think this text is way too long, so let's see. All right. So that's looking good. What I think I want to do is make this a maximum height of 100%. So whether or not I have a lot of links or a few links, it will always stretch out to the very bottom. So to do that, I'm going to go over to the section here and section. height, minimum height. We are going to make it VH 100. Yeah, that's more like it. But everything is centered. And I guess as I add more links, so if I keep duplicating this, it will push everything out. But if I have fewer links for whatever reason, some of my offers are no longer available, that will bring this to the bottom. And I want it to stay at the top. So we are going to column position. We're going to make it top. There we go. And I think that's it. Awesome. So now let's try. Now I'm not so concerned about desktop. You can also fix up your desktop, but the whole point of social media, most people use it on their phone. So I think it's more important to optimize it for mobile. However, if you do also want to make sure that it's 100% on your desktop, you would do the same thing over here, making sure that the minimum height on desktop, it's also 100 VH, right? So that it covers your whole screen. Right now, we do have this rose gold color, I guess. So let's change that to a background image. So we're going to clear this. And we're going to use a background image. Now let's take a look and see what works. I guess this works. All right, so let's do this. Let's keep this one here. I don't know how it fits so perfectly, but it works, I guess. Now, if you did want to move things around, if it wasn't placed properly, so let's take a different image. Let's use this one. Right, so this one doesn't necessarily work. So what I would probably do is move things around a little bit. So still in the section styling area, I would like to see more white space and have the fruits a little more to the left. So I am going to, first of all, make this a cover, right? There is no repeats. And position, I don't think the position is going to matter at this point. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is make the position custom. There we go. So that's a little better. So I guess slowly, what I did is instead of making this the size cover, right, I made it, or default, made it default so that I could actually move the position a little bit. Now I'm doing this for desktop. What is it going to look like on mobile? This is what it looks like on mobile. So can I do the same thing? Can I move it a little bit? Because that's a whole lot of fruit happening right there. So I think I could deal with this on mobile. Just move the fruits a little out of the way and keep the buttons in the center. So you can keep moving it until you're a lot happier. You know, you don't have to show all the fruits. There you go. And we are good to go. And so this is what we would have for mobile, right? Now the text is long, so it's going on to 2 lines. What if you wanted to, you could shrink the text as well, and you would have to do it all over the place. So let's shrink the text to something that wouldn't. I think this is too small. All right, so what I would do, since I actually don't like the text that small, is then just change the text in here so that it's not as long. All right, so I would do this. Now, what I could also technically do is put subheadings in here as well. So let's see, I could put in text in here and make this, let's call this free resources. Let's center that. Let's make that. And let's change the color. We can change it to this. That's fine. All right, so this are free resources. And let's say I only have these 2 in here as free resources. I am going to duplicate this. And I generally work with authors, speakers, and coaches. So let's just imagine this is for a speaker. I would say book book me instead. And then I would have maybe a link to my booking calendar or a link to your events page or a link to your media kit, right? So you could do that. Now we can definitely play around with padding as well. So let's put some padding at the top of this. So I can put 30 just to give me a little bit of room. I think 30 is a little too much. I was a little too happy with that one. So let's put padding there. And we're good to go. So we can break this up with more. Let's duplicate this again. We can break this up with more links. So let's keep duplicating and moving things around. Right. So this is, again, with the example as a speaker. So this is book me for an event. So we have maybe 1 link in here instead. And then here there's, let's see, a training. So let's see, some courses. So courses. And we can change this to reclaim. Reclaim your superwoman. I'm using this because I have a client whose course is that. So there we go. So we are able to actually break this up into little sections. So a little different from how Linktree has it here, but I think this is great. And then we can make changes to anything that we want over here. So I think this is looking good. So I've been able to, take what they have and customize it a little bit more to look, I wouldn't say better, but just to look something more that I think would benefit, you would benefit you instead of just having a whole link list of links. Another thing that you can also do is for each section, because if you're doing a live stream or if you're doing any kind of live stream, you're talking, people generally might not remember. So you could say, in my free resources section, it's the first link or it's the second link. In the, courses section, it's the second link or something to that effect. You can also change the colors if you want. I mean, I think this is cohesive and on brand. I don't really have a brand for this, to be honest. I'm just putting stuff together. But you can also change the colors for the buttons for each section. So each section has its own colors, right? So let's do that rose goldy thingy here. And then let's change the text to black. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but yeah, let's change the text to black. And the beauty of this is I can copy this and paste the style right here. Awesome. So now for the courses section, it's this color. So if your brand is a lot more colorful, you can absolutely do that. And mind you, this is Elementor, so you can customize this to your heart's content. Like you could add drop shadows to this. So let's so see, I just added a little bit of drop shadow to that. So I've already gotten a little bit of lift compared to this particular one. So let's do that as again. Style. Let's add a bit of a drop shadow there. So you can see that this got a little bit of lift. This also got a little bit of lift versus these ones, right? So, you know, if I was doing this, it didn't take us too long to do this, to be honest. So I think this is great. And you would share the link. Let's go back to desktop. See, this is what I did wrong. All right, so let's fix this. Let's put this in the subsection here. You're supposed to be at the bottom here. And we'll put that up there. Awesome. Now, because I was designing it in mobile, it all looked centered, but of course on desktop, it's not. So let's quickly fix that. I am going to make this all centered. Perfect. So it looks great on mobile and it looks fine on desktop. We haven't looked at tablet yet, so fingers crossed. All right, not horrible, but I think on desktop I'll probably shrink it a little bit more as well. So let's do that. All right, so I think on desktop on tablet we'll leave it at this. Okay, so we do have all of this room to still play around with, but maybe we can move our fruits a little bit. And that's the thing, when you're designing, it's important to make it look great on mobile and on desktop. We do tend to, I know sometimes I tend to forget tablet a lot. So it's also important to kind of do the tablet as well. So let's go back to default here. I'm going to custom. I'm going to move this a little out of the way. There we go. And so we're looking good on tablet as well. Looking good on mobile. And perfect. I know it kind of looks a little bigger here than it is on tablet. Let's see. Oh, they look about the same. All right, so that is it. Now, I'm thinking to maybe add something else. So let's do this. I'm going to copy. I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to bring it. Oh, stop it. There we go. Let's try that. All right. So of course, I would definitely need to put more padding here. But I want to put a form. And I don't have the Pro version, so this does not have forms on it because this is not the Pro version. So to get around that, let's see, there's absolutely no forms here. Yeah, there's no forms here. So to get around that, let's save this draft right now. And we're going to go to Forminator and we're going to just create a simple sign up form in Forminator and then move it in here so that you can actually have a place for people to sign in. So it's definitely a little more than what Linktree is doing, but as you can see, we can definitely duplicate the Linktree one. So let's just assume that portion of the tutorial is over. Now we're just going above and beyond, right? So we're going to go over to Forminator. And we are going to create a form, something really basic. I'll just do a blank form. And this is, I'll call it lead magnet. So usually, generically, you would have one lead magnet that's very generic to your whole business. If you target a specific group of people, you will have one lead magnet that can work for that group of people. And then you'll have micro lead magnets for specific problems that they're having, for sure. All right, so this is not meant to be a Forminator tutorial. So I'm going to be really fast with this one. So I'm just going to insert some fields. I want name, I want email, and really that's it. That's it. Just these two things. It is going to, since this is email integration, you will have to set up your email integration, which I haven't done yet, but I would quickly just make some changes here. So let me make some quick changes and I'll be right back. Awesome. So we are back and I have customized this form to my liking. And this is basically a very basic form. So this is what it's going to look like when we put it in. So I'm going to publish this and take this short code. Now let's go back to our post. We're going to edit with Elementor. Awesome. So what I wanted to do here is add a short code. So I'm going to add the short code right in here. Put in the code. Okay, well, it looks fine on preview, just looks horrible in the design. All right, so we're going to change this. Awesome, so I have made all the changes. I decided to add some more padding to the top of each section. I also changed from the other peach, or I guess rose gold color, to all black. I made changes to the actual button call to action. So I've cleaned it up a little bit and I'm happy with it. So I did check it on my mobile phone and it looks great. And I'm going to pop that on the screen just now so that you can also take a look at it on mobile. So yeah, guys, this is the Linktree, and I think we did a pretty good job. And we actually personalized it, made it our own. But so I will say thank you, Linktree, for even just having that idea and giving us the opportunity to do alternatives within our own platform. So if you would like to see more things, I love seeing designs and seeing if I can do it in WordPress on my own. So if you would like to see more designs or me duplicating other designs from different other platforms, let me know in the comments below and I will attempt at them. Also, if this is your first time on here, please click on the notification bell as well as subscribe to my channel. And I am looking forward to serving you and giving you more tutorials on how to grow your online business.